It's Friday. I've got the Friday feeling. Who else has got the Friday feeling? Sing with me now. I got the Friday feeling. Friday feeling. Oh yeah, get it done. Love it. Welcome everybody and hello. Welcome to Free2talk TV. Broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube. If you are watching, please say hi. Please give us a like. Please give us a comment or join in the conversation that we're about to have. And we're joined by some very special guests today, and new ones as well. So, I mean, we've got Owen, who's just below me, and then Richard's this side. He's over there in that corner. Our normal crew. Charlotte over there. Hello, Charlotte. But we're also joined by Rioni and Ao. Hello, Rioni and Ao. How are we?
Hi, we're fine. I'm all right.
Excellent.
Hey.
Right. So, I mean, we should do some introductions for those that may be watching. So, Rioni, what's your name and where do you come from?
Rioni, and I'm from Birmingham.
From Birmingham. You don't actually have much of an accent. I didn't know you were from Birmingham. Are you from a posh? No, you're from a posh part of Birmingham.
No, like Prophet City, Birmingham.
Oh, really? No, I don't think you've got much of an accent. So, what do you do, Rioni?
I study at Northampton University
And what are you studying?
because I want to be a social worker and work in the community.
Ooh. Very nice. I like it. So Rioni has joined us at Free2talk, basically on a little placement, and you've joined us on Free2talk TV, so you can add your comments and opinions to everything. We have been having a very weird conversation before we went live, mainly my fault. It's a bit weird. All right, Ao, tell us all about yourself. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Ayo. My full name is Ayodeji, and really
And what does
it means?
And what does? Oh, you're going to go into it. I was about to ask what it means because I know, but not everyone else might.
Oh, do you know?
I do know. Yeah, I got told, and I think I've got this thing. I think your name is really cool. Like really cool. I do. Okay. I've got this weird thing about the etymology of names and stuff. I love it. Go for it.
Yeah. So it's Ayodeji, and it means so Ayo means joy, Deji means double. I'm originally from Nigeria, and the reason why I have the name is because my mom had me on her graduation. Yeah, so she got dressed up. I was expected to come the week after the graduation. Yeah, but I think I just got bored really. I've been in the same place for 9 months, so I said no, I'm coming out today. And while she got dressed going to graduation, she ended up in the hospital having me.
Wow.
So so she named me Double Joy because she had me at graduation.
That is amazing. I love that story. Owen, what does your name mean? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure, but I did have a little bit of a look, like out of the blue, a while ago. Because my mum is Welsh, I'm more to my mum's side. So I looked it up, and in Welsh, Owen stands for warrior.
Oh, all right.
I might be wrong,
fancy.
But that was the last time I checked.
That is very fancy. Does anyone else know what their name means?
No, I don't know mine though.
Well, I know my surname. I say my full name is James Shepherd, and my surname Shepherd means beekeeper.
Well, it
doesn't really. I'm just joking. Sorry, but I tell you what. At primary school, when we had the nativity play, like the traditional kind of Christian nativity play, guess what the teachers made me be? Wasn't Joseph? Yeah, it was Shepherd. They found it funny for years. Damn teachers. Right, anyway, so if you are watching, please give us a like, please give us a comment, please join in the conversation we are going to have. Joined by our guests. I sent this out as a little question because there's been a fair bit of political stuff happen this week. And I kind of wanted to get young people's kind of input on this. I mean, Ao, I know it's rude to ask, but how old are you, Ao?
Oh God! No, not the live show.
Should we just say that you and I are probably of a similar age? So it would be nice. It would be nice to get everyone else's opinions on this, because I mean I've got some very strong opinions about it, but it's not about me. It's about everybody else. So Boris Johnson. There's been quite a lot of the news about him this week, but let's just lay our cards out on the table. I'm going to go round everybody, and I want you to say a couple of words, or a few words, or a sentence that you immediately think of when I say Boris Johnson to you. Okay, so Rioni, are you ready? Boris Johnson. Yeah. What do you think? What immediately comes? A wild man. He's a wild man. Let's put him back in that zoo. Let's get rid of him. Right, Charlotte, what about you? Boris Johnson.
I don't really like him, I guess.
Oh, okay. See, Charlotte, you are kind of just a lovely person. You're like, well, I just don't really like him. Nothing too strong. Nothing too bad.
Nothing too controversial. Just
No, you leave that to me. Richard, what about you? Boris Johnson.
British Prime Minister.
Oh.
Okay. So Richard,
I simplify everything down. Everything down.
That's a good answer.
It's honest. It's true.
Factual,
It is very factual. That is the legend that is Richard. Getting out there, love it. Ao, Boris Johnson.
Not straightforward. I just, and it amazes me how Boris Johnson will sit in front of a journalist and is asked a simple question, yes or no, and it would go round and round and round and round and round. At the end of the day, he said nothing.
I've got fluffy hair. I think we should say that Boris Johnson isn't the only politician guilty of that. It seems to be a very, very modern thing with a lot of politicians avoiding that. Right, Owen, Boris Johnson.
Donald Trump twin.
Yes. Again, just like Richard, you're factual and very true. Right. Okay. I just think he's a beep 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 clown. There you go. I beeped myself. Right. So of the big news this week. So I'll go into the story from what I know. So Boris Johnson has refurbished his London flat, which is in number 10, where the Prime Minister lives. And he's been caught under a lot of controversy because of this. So the controversy has stemmed from, apparently, the Prime Minister is allowed £30,000 per year to renovate that flat. Now, I should say that the median, not the average is a bit higher, but the median apparent income in the UK from last year and this year is about £31,000 a year, like that someone that earns as an individual. Now, I haven't been able to get the proper statistics on this. I've been looking today because it's really annoying about how true that actually is, because it is definitely overinflated by certain people earning a lot of money and then millions of people not earning a lot of money, and obviously people working in London. But that's £30,000 per year, and he apparently borrowed. In some case, some people are saying £100,000, but there's some information to say it's more like £200,000 that he borrowed to renovate the flat, because in another politician's words, himself and his fiance were living in a John Lewis nightmare. Because obviously, bear in mind that John Lewis, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, John Lewis is a posh brand, isn't it? It's a posh, expensive brand.
It is.
Yeah. But apparently, it was compared to living in a skip.
Then they really should have compared it to being IKEA then.
Yeah. Well, no, IKEA's all right. You get some good stuff.
I love IKEA.
Yeah, I like IKEA. I like building stuff with no instructions. That's why I like it, IKEA.
Giving me a massive opposition.
It's like having a giant box of Lego. Yeah, so £30,000 per year, and he's borrowed this money, and not properly declared it, and has been accused, and also Dominic Cummings, the bald mastermind of all this, has said that that Boris Johnson actually said he wasn't going to declare it, and it was just wait until someone found out. So this is the first story of Boris Johnson. So I'm going to go around and get everyone's initial opinions on this. So, Rioni, what are your initial opinions on this information?
I feel like he done it on purpose and was not trying to get caught.
Yeah. Anything else, or just that at the moment?
Just that at the moment.
Just that at the moment. Cool. Right. Charlotte.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just, he wasn't planning on telling anyone. It's not really out of his character. Like, I'm not surprised that he's done it. To be fair.
Not
I'll be
surprised.
surprised if
Why are you not surprised?
it's just Boris, isn't it? He'll do anything like that, and he'll just try to get away with it.
Richard.
Well, because he didn't want anyone to find out, and he was just waiting for someone to find out, he didn't want to get cancelled on Twitter.
Well, and we all know your opinions on Twitter, Richard. You're very anti-Twitter.
Yes.
So,
but besides, I don't know. It's just, it like Charlotte said, it's Boris. It was expected.
Hello, Michael, in the chat. I'll show your comment in a second to get everyone's reactions because I quite like it. AO, initial thoughts?
To be honest, I was upset because I do a lot of charity work, and I know there's a lot of poverty out there. When at the time where people are really suffering, and you can see a lot of vulnerability on the street. I don't think it's actually responsible of him to do that. It's really upsetting, to be honest, and I don't just want to talk about it, to be honest. Yeah, it's really upsetting.
Yeah, fair enough. Owen?
Yeah, I have to agree with AO with that, because that amount of money could be used for something else that is much more sustainable, especially for the past year and a half. Obviously, a little bit of renovating expected for everyone. I've got new doors being fitted as we speak. So a little bit of renovating is okay, but that amount is just a little bit selfish.
Over the top.
Yeah, I am aware that in London stuff is more expensive, but to be allowed £30,000 per year, just like there's, there's how many Tory prime ministers have there been in the last 3 years? 87. They're just playing musical chairs with it. Right, so Michael is a friend of mine who's currently abroad teaching, but B&Q, Britain and quarantine. Thanks for that, Michael. That's amazing. I love it. So, I think the issue with him as well. The big issue here is like the fact that you refurbished it for $100,000 initially. That was an initial idea, and then could be as much as $200,000. Now I know his fiance has obviously got a baby on the way, and you're kind of thinking, need a baby proof where I live type thing. But is that £200,000 just him literally buying loads of foam balls and pouring it into every room of the house to baby proof it? It just the mind boggles. Now, I should, for full disclosure, because I know there are some people that watch this that think I will just bash the Tories, but this amount of money has been in place since New Labour, so in the early 2000s, and it was originally instituted where every prime minister since Tony Blair have basically redecorated that flat. And I completely understand people want to put their own mark on it, but is this fair? Is this fair? Who wants to chime in?
No.
No? No.
No, James. Sorry, Richard, were you going to say something?
I mean, I get that he's having a kid soon and they want the baby proofs to flat, but £200,000 worth of it? Isn't that a bit too much?
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, you could, to put this into context, I mean, you could quite easily buy a house in Northampton with that 200 grand.
I was going to say that. That was what I was going to say.
I mean, you could pay for a house outright with that if that was
Honestly.
in cash, done.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So right, so with that amount of money in thought, I'm not just talking about Boris Johnson here, because we've had MPs get paid £87,000 a year. A lot of these people that become MPs also have come from private high paid backgrounds a lot of the time. But does this amount of money just mean that especially the Prime Minister in this case, are just completely out of touch with reality and what that money means? What do you reckon?
Definitely. I think
100%.
Yeah. I think like Ellen said as well, especially because of the whole COVID thing and everything in the past year and a half, you would put things into perspective, but it seems to have done like the opposite.
Yeah.
Because he's just done it anyway and wasn't going to tell anyone. Yeah.
Rioni, what you saying?
Yeah, I just feel like with him, one is just like he don't appreciate money in it, so it's just like their type of thing. Whether like us now, we will appreciate money more. Like that's a lot to us, but to him, it's probably just nothing. Like,
well, I mean, he has remarks in the past. I should say this. That he has remarks that the drop in pay he's had to become like even just an MP is basically like chicken feed. He's actually said that it's like chicken feed, and I just think that is more insulting, really, with everything he's got. Anyone else want to chime in?
I think, because I've been thinking about it since it's been in the news. I've been asking, what did he buy? What did he buy with? I mean, no, I don't know what did he buy. What did he buy? So I'm thinking, has there actually been a proper investigation to be sure this money actually went into renovation? Because I don't know. I mean, it didn't build. Not that it built another 10 down the street. He renovated an existing one. So what did he buy? For God's sake, what did he buy?
He took everything out of their house and just put new ones in.
Yeah, and it's also made of gold. I mean, because £30,000. I mean, £30,000 in Northampton is a deposit on a house worth more than 200 grand. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money, and I think like. Especially with like what minimum wage is in this country. So minimum wage for someone that's over 25 is £8.72 now, which equates to about £17,000 a year. Okay, that's your minimum wage. The original intention of minimum wage was to ensure that anybody on it could afford to have a family, but also buy a house. Right, that was the original intention of minimum wage. So no one would be left out. Now, the median wage being £31,000, so there's about £14,000 gap there. And how many millions of people actually sit just above minimum wage because they get paid like £9 an hour or £8.90 an hour? I would argue millions. Millions and millions. So this amount of money to like in using Boris's words that he's used in the past, spaffed up the wall. It's just absolutely disgusting for me, and it just speaks more and more of especially the Conservative Party, but generally politicians have just been completely out of touch with people. And in this case, with the scandals of the Tory Party and cronyism and giving money to mates, it just honestly makes me want to drop kick Boris Johnson in a wrestling ring, right? And then like with Richard loves the wrestling, and then do the rock bottom of it on him, and then the people's elbow, right? And just really to go get a sense of reality. I think. Right. So my mate Michael, devil's advocate. It is not his house. In theory, it is a place where world leaders will get together out of the public eye and in a more relaxed surroundings to accomplish things that will affect the world stage. I do understand that, but if he's spent 200 grand when last year another 30 grand was spent, and the year before that 30 grand was spent, it's just this is public money.
Every year. Yeah.
Yeah, carry on, Charlotte. Sorry, carry on.
I'm just saying, surely it doesn't need to be done absolutely every single year. Like, you don't redo your whole house every year, even every 5 years. You know.
Yeah.
It's too frequent to need anything done to it. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, because this harkens back. I mean, I don't know how much people remember the MP's expenses scandal a few years ago. I mean, that was that wasn't. In reality, it wasn't any one particular party. It was across the Commons. The people just honestly taking the mickey with those expenses, and because the money is there, going, I'm going to spend it. Having that allowance of £30,000 per year just makes me think that is the case. They just I might as well spend it.
I probably think they're entitled to it because it's there. Like, they need to spend it just because
they've already got their salary. I mean, I understand that a lot of these MPs, when they come to the Commons, have to get accommodation in London because they represent Dorset or whatever. But yeah, you don't need to put a second home worth £1.2 million on expenses, do you?
Well, couldn't Boris technically pay for those renovations himself? Like, he'll be on a decent salary, wouldn't he?
But remember, technically, his MP's wage combined with his prime minister wage is about 150,000 a year. 150,000 a year that is still chicken feed, apparently.
And it's not enough renovations, is it?
No. I did some researching into like his finances. So his current salary is £157,000, 372 pence.
Wow.
Something like that. So it's still a lot of money. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, but he has got other sources of income. Now, MPs have to declare those other sources of income. So it could be, like, for example, our health secretary who's responsible for the NHS, wrote a book a few years ago, saying that we should just privatise the NHS because that's a good look, and obviously made money off that. So Boris Johnson gets a rental income of about £10,000 a year from his houses, and he also makes about £23,000 a year from publishers of a book he did last year. So that combined is the average median wage in this country, apparently, which was enough money for people to buy a house and stuff. So so that what this speaks to me though is how much is he not declaring? Have we got any thoughts on that, Rioni? What is he not declaring?
I don't know the figure, but a lot.
Yeah, a lot. All right, okay. On a scale of 0 to Boris, stop taking the blooming Mickey. What kind of amount do you think it is?
0.
I mean, yeah. So I've got some other figures here to go through. So he's had to take a considerable pay cut when he became foreign secretary and then when he became prime minister. So he got paid almost £123,000 for a speech he gave in India to India Today in 2019 for a speech.
What, like a 5-minute speech?
Yeah.
Even if it's an hour.
Yeah.
An hour.
I know. Also, he got paid £51,000 for speaking to a Dublin-based pendulum events and trading on the 10th of January 2019, and £42,000 for speaking to engagement with the Swiss Economic Forum in 2019.
James, 1 minute. Please, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
These figures, yeah?
Yeah.
Are we talking about monopoly money or real money?
Yeah, real money.
Not monopoly money.
No, not monopoly money, real money, yeah. so that's almost £200,000 from 1 year. or just over £2,000 from 3 speeches. I mean, do you know what? I'll do that. I mean, I can give a funny speech. I can put on a wig and go, because that's all his speeches are, isn't it? Spat. I can do that. So, I mean, it understands like public office having a certain amount of money, but I mean, 80 grand is still a lot of money. 160 grand for being a prime minister is really a lot of money. So, again, Owen, what are your thoughts on this? Let's go around again.
It's just, I don't know why it's all just so much, to be honest. If you're thinking about what he hasn't declared, maybe he knows that he can't exactly declare it, but he still wants to do it in the first place. So the only reason he's not declaring it is so that he doesn't get noticed of it. But obviously he's now been noticed about it. Yeah. He's now in deep trouble.
I should hope so.
Yeah, because if you don't declare about something and you're basically not sharing about what your expenses are, especially as an MP, you're going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah, but I should say in this case, Owen, just in case you've misunderstood, that money has been declared, like before he became like Foreign Secretary and Prime Minister. That's not really into question, but it's more about the amount of money that's, that he considers chicken feed. I'll just keep using that. Yeah, I think it's mad. Ayo? I can see you losing the rest of your hair as it's.
I can't get my head around it, but I would always speak from the perspective of what I do, which is run a charity, work for a charity. I remember last year March, between March and April last year, over 1 million people applied for universal credit. Over 1 million, and that grew up until throughout the first lockdown. And before that, millions of people had been on universal credit, and I don't think even the person who gets the highest pay on universal credit gets £20,000 a year. I don't think so.
No.
So measuring the kind of poverty in the UK, and then the insensibility of politicians, because this time around it's not just Boris Johnson. We're talking about Boris Johnson because he's been exposed. What about others? It lets me understand that a lot of things are going on in the political terrain that we don't even know about, and it's truly upsetting, to be honest. It's really upsetting. And I'm waiting for what the outcome is going to be, because up until now I don't think anything drastic is being done. Maybe I'm missing out on the news, but I don't think anything drastic has been done.
No, so he is being investigated by the Electoral Commission, which is kind of standard. But from some little thing I read, I think he, as Prime Minister, gets to put a casting vote on whether he's going to be investigated himself by the Electoral Commission. But don't quote me on that. That's just something I've read recently, and I need to get my head around. It's a bit like Richard, you being at college and being allowed to mark your own homework, basically. It's it's like so Richard, what are you thinking?
Come back to me. I really just don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue? No, that's fine, mate. I mean, if it's a lot to take in, which it is, that's fine.
It is.
Charlotte?
I agree with AO, really. I think he's just so out of touch with what's real, and how much that money is actually worth to so many people. I think it's just disgusting. Some of the stuff, he's declared a lot of it, but when you think about how much he possibly hasn't declared, he was going to avoid doing that for as long as possible. I think it's just a reflection of how he is as a person, and it all represents.
And which is a floppy-haired clown. Rione.
I just think it's insensitive to the rest of the people, to be honest. And I also feel like nothing's gonna happen. There ain't gonna be an end result.
Yeah, I mean that's to have someone. I mean, Rioni. I mean, obviously you're young, you're at university, and for you to kind of feel that way, for me, is more upsetting. That you kind of definitely look at it and go, well, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to change, which is definitely a detriment. I think to this is worse than the actual situation that's actually happened. You know, Boris Johnson appears to be able to do whatever he likes and suffer no consequences. I mean, we had a previous prime minister just leave his kids in the pub and forget about them. You know, it's just like nothing can possibly go wrong. David Cameron left his kids in a pub and forgot about them.
No idea.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just, but yeah, anyway, let's focus on Boris Johnson. Right. So, I mean, this comes into some issues of cronyism and lobbying. So the reason why this is so controversial is because this amount of money of like 100 grand or 200 grand, whatever it was loaned to him, Boris Johnson, for the renovations by someone else. Okay. Now the issue with that is that's a bit like so say Owen, I'm your teacher at college, yeah, and you come to me and go, I want a better mark on my homework, and I go, oh, okay, lend us a tenner, and you go, okay, there you go, and I go, A star. That's the issue, but on a political sense, and instead of it being homework, it's party policy and can make changes to how the entire country works. So that is the controversy here. And this also sparks thing. I don't know if anyone heard about Boris Johnson telephone number. Right, so Boris Johnson telephone number has apparently been publicly available for over a decade, and he also, in the pandemic last year, was receiving text messages from James Dyson, who makes the Dyson Hoover, to basically talk about government policy via text. Now, so the question here is, should a government first off let the Prime Minister's number be publicly available so anybody can text him? I mean, I've got some memes right now. I'm going to text him. And also, should said Prime Minister let anybody text him? Should we say changes for government through WhatsApp? Is that the right place to discuss government policy? Rioni, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely not. It's unprofessional. It's just no.
I mean, is that an actual thing?
Is it real?
Yeah, that's an actual thing. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. It is real. It just makes me think, like, because I mean, right, I don't think even anyone in government really has this. So I've got two phones because I work for a charity. This is my personal one. This is my work one. Now, it would be different if it was definitely a work phone, but it wasn't.
No, James. Even on a work phone, you don't do formal business on a work phone. You don't discuss sensitive things on a work phone, do you? You don't.
No.
Even on a work phone, you don't.
No.
You don't. And you know, at times, to be honest, I don't have anything against Boris Johnson, to be honest. But even with his attitude at times, he has this nonchalancy, carefree attitude with the way he does most things, with the way he talks, with the way he even at times the way he dresses. He just has this nonchalant attitude, and I'm beginning to think it's not just an attitude I see on him. I think it's a reality. I think that's his day-to-day reality, because I can't imagine him discussing such a sensitive issue with somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
It's just so unprofessional, isn't it? You just wouldn't. I feel like it's not a thing to do.
I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, you're Charlotte bringing up unprofessional again. I mean, but he wasn't even talking on the phone. It was a text, right? And do you know how many times I misspell something by a message? I mean, everyone would have seen it. I mean, because like Richard and Owen especially, because like I messaged them like on Messenger or WhatsApp or wherever, and I misspell stuff all the time. But imagine if that misspelling then went into government policy. Like, what could you possibly misspell? I know. It's just like, or just predictive text put in the wrong thing, and you accidentally said "kill the poor" or something like that. I mean, yes, I'm making a joke because it's such an extreme thing, but it's not the place to do it. Right. So Richard, here's a question for you to get you involved with this. Should instead the Prime Minister use Twitter or the President use Twitter to talk about government policy? What do you reckon?
I'm going to say, if you text Boris Johnson, the only thing I'm going to say is like you're just invading his privacy. That's the only thing I'm going to say good about him. Second off, I mean, I'm not on Twitter anymore, so they can do whatever they want.
For those that don't know, that may be watching, Richard is really anti-Twitter, I really like how much he hates it. Just weirdly, it's kind of like, oh look, let's get Richard excited about something. Twitter, and then he goes, ah! he like hulks out. No, Twitter.
It's just the worst.
Owen. Owen. Yeah, you just phased out and came back in. What are your thoughts on this?
Just repeat the question quickly because my internet's just gone a bit crazy.
Yeah, that's right. It's about Boris Johnson talking about government policy through text. Is that the right place for it?
No. I'm gonna stay up saying no. Like,
definitely not.
Yeah, you were saying. I remember you saying about like discussing like governmental decisions on like Twitter and stuff like that. Boris already sort of does that. He's got a Snapchat account.
I didn't know you had a Snapchat.
I know I think I might just get Snapchat just in case he does one of the filters. Be like,
I personally don't. I don't follow him on Snapchat, but I just see him. I'm just like, what are you doing on here? This isn't where you're supposed to be.
Is Boris Johnson a 16-year-old girl? Is on Snapchat? Like,
I would be surprised.
Who's he going to be talking to on there as well?
Himself.
Yeah.
Hang on,
God, that has made my day. I didn't even know he was on Snapchat.
Oh my God, I found it.
Oh, no.
Oh God. What is it? Okay, read us out Boris Johnson's latest Snapchat. Oh God. I mean, right, okay, so I understand, right? I've got this whole thing. Like we're using this medium to get our message out and talk with young people. Like Richard, we use Messenger. Owen, we use WhatsApp. We're using TikTok. We're using Instagram to communicate stuff, right? And I completely understand why people in government or MPs are trying to use these mediums to get messages across to people. But it just makes it. I mean, does Boris Johnson as Prime Minister need a Snapchat? Really?
No.
No, not really. I mean, just imagine it like, feeling a bit floppy head. I don't know. Might delete later.
I can certainly say his little bit emoji looks like he needs a haircut again.
Oh God! Wow. Oh dear. Right. Yeah. So I think we've kind of. Sorry, that just made me laugh so much. I think we've kind of discussed Boris Johnson quite a lot there. So what are agreements about Boris Johnson? So after this conversation, have our opinions changed? Let's go round again and go for more words that we think about Boris Johnson. Rioni, what do you reckon? Anything changed from what you said at the beginning?
No, my opinion changed. He's just selfish. Really.
Selfish has been added. Right, cool. Charlotte.
Yeah, I still don't like him very much.
Right. Although you said that, Charlotte, and you kind of looked directly at the camera a bit and was like, and I could see it. You're like one of those people that if you put regards instead of kind regards at the bottom of an email, you're furious. It means you're really angry. Richard?
You did no good piece of. No, I'm not going to say.
That's fine. Right, you can just go beep from now on if you need to. Ayo.
Yeah. To be honest, initially when I was saying it's not straightforward, I was talking about the way it reacts to questions on the media with journalists, but now talking about his financial lifestyle, especially the £200,000. I think now I'm saying it in capitals. It is not straightforward. It's not straightforward.
Yes. Owen.
Now that I mentioned about Snapchat, for you, James, Donald Trump twin. Still.
What?
Donald Trump twin still, but I'm also thinking that he's in his own Alice in Wonderland through drugs.
Yeah. Wow. We can't deny or agree with the comment that Owen has just made.
No, don't worry. I know for a fact that
we've got no evidence to back that up.
There's no evidence against it. I'm just saying that as just a random statement.
That's all right. No worries. Right. So I mean, I've got I think three words. To me, he's a charlatan, a crook, and a clown, as far as I'm concerned. All the C's, a bit of alliteration. I like it. Right, so now we've put the government to rights. I think, I mean, for those that may have seen this before, I keep saying I should be Prime Minister. James, Prime Minister, and you are my cabinet. Here we go. We've done it. So we've solved the problem. Richard, you can be chief executive of executives because it just sounds fancy.
I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I. I just made it up. See, I'm already acting like a real prime minister. I'm just making stuff up. Right. So I want to go into some feel-good stuff, like some news that I've found. Now, it's not local news has been a bit dour for me recently, so I've gone international with this. So I mentioned this earlier. So this is a story. A bunch of Joshes battled in a park to see who the one true Josh is, and a 4-year-old, he's actually 5, we found out, it actually won. So this is a story, like last year, a guy called Josh Swain, he was really annoyed with his name, Josh Swain, being taken when he was signing up for accounts, say on YouTube or Twitter or whatever, because he wasn't the only Josh Swain. So he went through Facebook, right, last year and sent to everybody he could find called Josh Swain the same message saying, "You're probably wondering why I've gathered you all here today." And he wanted to organise the fight of all fights between Josh Swains. And whoever won would be allowed to keep their name Josh Swain. Right? So he organised this last year and he put some coordinates in for a park in Nebraska. And everyone forgot about it. But then all of a sudden, when the date finally came round, hundreds of people gathered in this park to see the Battle of Joshes play out. And Josh Swain, the original Josh Swain, was actually filmed having a battle of rock, paper, scissors against another Josh Swain. And he won it, everybody. He won. He got to keep his name, which is great. But then they had a giant fight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, and they took pool noodles into the park and basically just had a fight with it. yeah, so you get the idea. And this 5-year-old boy ended up being the winner, to the stage where Burger King, you're going to hate this, Richard, but tweeted that he was the one true king. And that's my big international feel good news today. I mean, what do people think about that as an idea? What Owen?
I remember when I saw that Facebook post on Instagram for the first time, thinking, is someone really that dumb to do it? But now it's actually happened. I'm actually really glad it has, because I'm not sure how they're going to top this. I'm not sure if I heard correctly, but apparently they've done it for someone else, another name.
Oh, have they?
I'm not sure what the name was. I think I overheard it at college or something like that, but I think they're going to just do it annually now, just like every year. You have
choose a new name.
Choose a new name.
Wow.
You've got a year to prepare. Then next year they'll do it. But I love it. Now I see it actually happening. I absolutely love it. It's a living meme come to life.
It definitely is. AO, would you like to fight other AOs to keep your name?
I can't. I've not been able to stop laughing since I saw it. But the challenge is that I don't have a lot of IO, so I think I'm just going to end up fighting myself.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll change my name by default to your name, and we can organise it, and we'll have the rock paper scissors. Best 2 out of 3. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're great. You're really good. Richard, how many Richard Bushnells do you know?
Give me a minute. Let me have a look on Instagram.
Oh,
Oh, wow. And
Sorry,
Twitter.
He does have.
no, not Twitter. Not Twitter. although I have heard that Richard is starting up a new Twitter login, and it's called it's called Down with Twitter, and he tweets specially on it. Down with Twitter.
I think that name's already been taken.
Oh, is it?
Won't be surprised.
You got none. You got none. That means you're unique.
All I'm gonna say is, with the year we had, that's something that just made the year better.
Happy. I like it. It's good. Charlotte?
I mean, I don't think I'll participate, but I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, you'd like to see it again.
I want to be in person.
So would you like, Charlotte, in person? Should we try and organise it? See how many people have got the same name in our youth groups and try and organise it.
Right.
Maybe not a big fight. Maybe just rock paper scissors. Yeah, because we don't advocate violence. Rioni, any thoughts?
I like to think I'm the only Rioni because it's a made-up name, but yeah, I like the idea. It's actually interesting.
Yeah. So this will be the challenge. Can you find any other Rionis on social media? Like Rioni and your surname? Put it on. Oh, I mean, there's a challenge for next week. For next week, Rioni, you can bring it back. Right. So I loved it.
Hold up. Who was the original Josh Swain that booked all this together? The 5-year-old?
No, not the 5-year-old. No, he just ended up winning the pool noodle fight. So the original Josh Swain.
He won the rock paper scissors, didn't he?
Yeah, he won the rock paper scissors, but I don't know the full details of him. I don't think it gives. Have a quick look. No, it doesn't get that page doesn't give particularly that much information. But I mean, so I quite like this because right, my name is James Shepherd. The spelling of my name, Shepherd, my surname, is actually quite unique. It's not spelt normally. To the stage where it's actually when people see it spelt my way. With someone else, I got asked this last week. Oh, do you know them? Are they related? And I'm like, no, it's just a very rare surname. And I was on Facebook. I can't remember what I was on exactly, but it was like a news feed on the BBC or something, having a chat, and I saw someone's name spelt my way, James Shepherd, and with a comment. So I commented on his comment, going, "Oh my god, it's like you read my mind," or something along those lines, because I completely agree with you. Yeah, and he was like, "Wow, that's weird, us being the same." And then a third James Shepherd spelled exactly the same way. He was like, "This is weird for me too," and we were like, "Ah, the Matrix is real." It was very weird. Right, so very odd. So I've got one other little funny story before we kind of round up and go through, because I've got all these stories about all my happiness and stuff, but this is probably my favourite story, and it involves an Uber driver in Manchester. So an Uber driver drove into the Salford Canal and still charged me £29.31 for the journey. But apparently, from what I can gather, it's because the Uber driver is also a swimming teacher. Hey! He's not really. I just think it's really funny. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. Like, it's to still be charged.
I mean,
and Boris.
this is how I think it's gonna go. I went to destination. The step, wherever it was, canal. Okay, go there. In the water. What are you doing? You said the canal, so here you are.
The canal,
please.
The Uber driver that takes things literally.
Yeah. Don't get a driver that takes things literally. Right. Anyway, so thanks for those that have been watching. That is our news discussion of this week. We are going to go around everybody and talk about or share something fun or happy that made us happy this week. So Rioni, you first. What cool or happy thing has happened to you this week, or a cool thing you've seen that you want to share with everybody?
That name thing's quite cool. That we were just talking about.
the thing is quite excellent. It made you happy, Charlotte.
I'd say I finished all my uni work for the year, so I'm all
Finish all your uni work for the year. I like that. You are obviously a swot like Richard, because like Richard said, like this week or last week? He's like, yeah, I've got no more homework to do. I've done it all.
Last week.
Last week, yeah. We just got some good hard workers in our group. Or what, as I like to call, nerds. I like it. It's good to be a nerd. It's cool now. Don't worry about it. Right, Richard, what's your happy, cool thing that's happened to you this week?
Really been a lackluster week. Have not been.
Oh,
I would have to say I got my placement into college next year for level 3.
Hey, that's really good news. That's excellent news, mate. That's really good. Get your placement for next year.
My first full week off Twitter. It's been the best.
I don't know what it is. I just really like how much you hate Twitter. It's really weird.
Last week.
Ayo, what about you? What's been your cool, fun thing this week?
Oh wow. Yeah, I think on Wednesday evening I had a surprise Chinese takeaway. I wasn't expecting it, but my wife got it.
Oh, your wife got it. I was going to say, how does a surprise Chinese takeaway turn up? Was it actually meant to be delivered next door? And you just went, oh yeah, it's mine. Yeah, my Chinese.
But even still, Chinese is always a nice surprise either way.
Yeah, surprise Chinese takeaway. I do like surprise Chinese takeaway. I don't get surprise Chinese takeaway or any Chinese takeaway generally because the guy next door, right? Every time I order, the guy next door keeps taking the Chinese. Apparently,
are you serious?
Yeah, apparently his name's Ao as well. Yeah. Right, Owen, what about yours?
Yesterday with my dad. My dad works with Sainsbury's freezer unit, so in his little cafe, they've been selling like a little cake sale. I've been getting a lot of free Victoria sponge cakes. Absolutely divine, to be honest. Yeah, free Victoria sponge cakes and free carrot cakes. Not much of a carrot cake person myself, but the Victoria sponge I scoff. But yesterday my dad thought to do a little bit of just some needless care, nice, friendly. Yeah. I've forgotten the term now for some reason.
Hospitality?
Something like that. Like, just random act of kindness. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Random act of kindness. I've got a friend who lives in Morsley that are very close with my family, me and my dad just went out for a nice evening drive to Maudsley. Just like, here you go, here's a Victoria sponge cake. Random act of kindness.
Oh,
that's really good. See, we're all nice people here, really, and we don't need to spend £200,000 on it.
Exactly. A normal Victoria sponge cake would cost you about what, 30 quid?
Well, do you know what? The Victoria sponge cake I put through my expenses was about 30 quid, weirdly.
Yeah, my dad paid only £1 for it, so
yeah. And my Victoria sponge cake was made of gold. Right, so my happy thing is now I have seen this before, but I got reminded of it by my girlfriend, and it's a video I've got, and I've cut it down to show everyone into about 20 seconds, and it's basically sheep at a protest. Here we go.
Oh God.
What do you want? What do you want? When do you want it? When do you want it? How do you want it? How do you want it? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? What about your mum? What about your mum?
and there we go.
What is that?
I just love it. I love it. Right, so that's right. So thanks for everyone that's been watching Free to Talk TV and those that liked and everything. We will be back.
Wait.
Yeah, sorry.
Did it say what they protested?
No, but it was just because of the guy who set it up. That's how a protest works. Like, what do we want? We want the Prime Minister not to spend $200,000 on a flat renovation. When do we want it? Now. Right. I talk to animals. I just kind of talk to animals because I'm a weirdo. So like when we go down the park, I'll feed the squirrels and I'll make like little noises at them. And they'll actually come over. It's really weird. If a duck quacks at me, I quack back. No. See, weirdly, Owen, I just go quack.
So subtle.
I don't think they're talking to me at the moment. Anyway, right. So thanks for watching Free to Talk TV. Thank you to all my guests: Rioni, Charlotte, Richard, Ao, and Owen. We will be back again next week talking about the news of the week. I hope everyone has a lovely bank holiday and really enjoys it. I'm kind of glad that there should be some nice weather. But yeah, we can say goodbye to the stream now, everybody. For Ao and Rioni's purposes, when I go end the broadcast, we're still on, so we can say our own goodbyes as well. But everybody say bye to the broadcast. Bye, broadcast.
Bye, guys.